Hi, and welcome back to That's So Nova. I'm glad to see everybody. We're going to be doing part 2 of interfacing. The last one for part 1 was a reference to bag bottoms, the bases. So I went over there's a lot, but I went over a few different bag base that I put together and I use on my everyday when I'm making bags. So I will put the link to part 1 if you haven't watched it. So part 2, we're going to be talking about interfacings and stabilizers that you could put for the either the lining or the body of the bag. And there's a lot. There's so much. I have so much around me. So I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as possible and also put where I purchased all my different interfacings, as well as if I don't mention something. So what we're going to go over first is how you want your bag to look. You can either want a super structure, a medium, or something that's soft and pliable. With that being said, there are different stabilizers for different things. All the stabilizers in here I purchased myself. There's no affiliate links. This is just my opinion on different ones and where I purchased them. So let's start. On this bag, it's just like a simple messenger bag. I used bouncy firm because I wanted it to be like soft and pliable, but have some kind of structure where it keeps its shape, where it's completely, the shape is still there, but it's not so structured that it can't move on its own. So I used bouncy firm on that, and I'm going to show you bouncy firm. There's two. There is a 160 and a 160 and a 210. So I'm going to show you the 160. The 210 just fell, but I'll get it. 160, as you can see, this interfacing is super, it's soft, but it keeps its structure. It adheres really well. There's glue on one side and the other side is smooth. I actually use bouncy firm a lot in place of fleece because it gives the same thing. It's like a fleece in Shapeflex 101 had a baby, would be 160. Now, the 210, I'll bring it up here, has a little bit more structure. It's a little bit stiffer. Your bag can hold with 210. Like if you wanted something that was like semi-structure, it holds. Like, so with this one, it's very similar. Not super structure, but structure enough, but flexible, and it holds its shape, but like it won't be super stiff against your body. I love a good structure bag, but the bad thing about structure bags is they're not super pliable. So when you're putting your cell phone, putting your drinks, whatever, it stays in that same shape. And most people carry their bag underneath their armpit or cross body, and when you have that up against you, you may not like it. So the semi-structure is something that I really like in bags, and it's one of the reasons why I use Bouncy Firm. Bouncy Firm is a serial bag maker product. It's hers only. You have to purchase it from her. She does have a really quick turnaround time and ships really fast and gives really cute gifts. I always seem to get like zipper tape, and the last zipper tape I got was black with green teeth, and I appreciate little gifts. Bouncy Firm is a great one if you want a semi-structure bag, and it's a good pricing for how much you get. Very unusual. It's a unique thing because the first one I purchased a sample of it, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to use it for, and now I kind of use it for my my bags, my pouches, and when I make like fabric envelopes and whatnot. Then we have a really soft bag that can collapse on itself. I'm a sucker for a soft slouchy bag. With this, I just used, I use Sewfuse. And Sewfuse is by KS Steam Handcrafted. And it has like it's Shapeflex, except it doesn't, the glue doesn't, like, it doesn't go all over. It's Shapeflex, but just like a better higher end. It's very soft. It's woven. It's just pillowly soft, and you could just adhere it to your fabric and cut, and it'll give it it's a soft structure, and it helps fabrics from not stretching, because you know, if you cut on the bias or whatever, because you're fussy cutting, you don't want your bag to stretch and ruin your fussy cutting. So I used to use Shapeflex 101. You can purchase that at Joann's, Walmart, or any craft stores like Hobby Lobby. But I had a problem with the glue not adhering really well. And then when Monica came out with her line, I was super stoked because it's pretty inexpensive for the yard. I think it's a little under $5 per yard. And instead of getting 45, you're getting almost, I think you're getting like 36 by 40 something. And it's just, I don't know, I really like Sewfuse. And Sewfuse Plus is a great alternative if you want your bag to be super structured. I sometimes use Sewfuse Plus on my lining fabrics, so that way when you look inside the bag, it's completely crisp and it's not slouchy. I hate slouchy lining. I like slouchy bags, but I want the bag not to be like wrinkly on the inside. So, okay, for this bag, I use Decovil Light and Deckable Heavy. No, yes, Deckable Heavy on the bottom and Decovil Light. That is like everyone's go-to in the bag world. We seem to really love Deckable, and a lot of pattern designers ask for it. It has like a leathery feel to it. It gives your bag structure, and it just gives it a nice feel to the hand. The glue is gorgeous on the back, and yes, I said gorgeous because it adheres. It truly adheres to things. So we also have Deckable Heavy. Sometimes I use this for a base of the bag, or if I'm going to make a super structure bag. I've actually used it in the bags, like for the main body pieces. It's great. It doesn't tear. It feels like kind of gives your bag a leathery feel. The problem with Deckable I have is it's expensive. There's never sales. I usually get my Deckable Light from Cereal Bag Maker, or if I'm just getting a few yards, I get it from Emmeline Bags. There are places in the US, like you can go to Wawak and they have it. It sells out really fast. I believe it's a German product, and getting things overseas right now is extremely hard. So the prices of them stay the same and it's never on sale. But I love Deckable Light and Deckable Heavy. There are alternatives like Sewfuse Plus and EB Plus, EB Heavy. That's Emmeline Bags. I just realized EB was Emmeline Bags' initial. So, I was like, Emmeline Bags has a soft, medium, heavy, and I actually purchased some when I did my last Emmeline Bag hardware haul, and it is nice. They have soft and heavy. I think I used soft. I used a little bit of the medium weight, and it has really great structure. There's tons of glue on there, and glue is super important because it adheres to your fabric and gives it its structure. Like I said in the first part, think of your interfacing as your undergarments. Like if you're going to go for that corset, my waist is snatched kind of look, or if you're going to go for something, oh, I'm soft and these are my natural curves, I'm Marilyn Monroe kind of look. So like, you're going to have to figure out what you want your bag to look like. EB Heavy is really beautiful. I used it on a pouch, and I have some bag testing coming up, and I plan on using it in lieu of Deckable Light to see if it is like, it's good. I know for a fact Sewfuse Plus, I feel like it's it can compete with Deckable Light. If you follow Monica, then if you follow her on Instagram or on Facebook, she makes all of her bags with Sewfuse Plus instead of Deckable Light, and they always come out beautiful. Like I said, if you're doing a haul for Emmeline, her heavy and her medium is really nice. I've used the lightweight one that's comparable to Shapeflex 101. It's beautiful. Her quality is great. You can cut through it and there's not a whole lot of dust everywhere. The glue is nice and firm. The Another person that I buy lightweight fusible from is 2 minutes to stitch. And it's really cute because her initials is like 2M 2S. So she gives really great instructions how to do this and with a dry iron. Her light, she has 2 bases, one for interior and one for exterior. Her interior is interesting because it's thinner than Shapeflex 101, but it gives really good structure and it's light, but it's a little lighter than Shapeflex 101. So what I like for this one is if I'm trying to have like a smoother lining where it looks kind of drapey, not super structured and super crisp, I like to use that in this. And then sometimes I use hers fabric with the scraps if I'm putting in like a magnet, and instead of using duct tape, I'll use a piece of this and use it around my iron, and it'll help secure the back so it doesn't rub against the back of my fabric. And the next thing I forgot to mention, not Sewfuse. This is Wovenfuse Ultra. This is super firm. I actually really like this. I had 2 yards and I went through it in like a week. I do, in all fairness, I do sew a bag a day, so bear with me. But when I'm not using waterproof canvas, I actually like to use this on my cotton lining because it gives it the same structure as a waterproof canvas. It's really crazy. And when you iron it, it's like perfect creases. I'm a huge fan. This is all I have left, so I will have to go to Anne, Serial Bag Maker, and get this. Her Wovenfuse Ultra is amazing. The next thing, the next bag I like to use is I like to use foam. And as you can see on this bag, it's a nice soft body, but it pops back to its original shape. This foam to me, I know a lot of people say that they're not a huge fan of it. I love foam. My husband can attest to it. I will use foam in a bag if it asks for it, or sometimes when it doesn't, because I love the soft feel and just how it plops back into its position. It looks super structured, but it's very pliable and soft to the hands. Now, the thing with foam is all foam is not created equal. It's really, I think some people, when they don't like foam, it's because they have the wrong type of foam. When I first started bag making, I used Amazon as everything. So Amazon is really big with Pellon foam and R foam. My first one I really loved was R foam. But the problem that I have with R foam is I have bags that I made like 4 or 5 years ago, and they have no shape. It just completely collapses on itself. Now, I like the way it quilts. Like when you're quilting like squares or Mickey Mouse heads, whatever it may be, it quilts and it puffs up really nice. But over time, that foam deflates. Now, with that being said, my favorite foam of all time is Annie Soft and Stable, because the more you stitch on it, the more it compresses, and it just gives you a really nice looking bag, and it's stable. Yeah, I have everything on this. Okay, I don't know why I buy it in black. I buy the roll in black. It comes in white or black, but for some odd reason, I like buying interfacing in black. I also buy, whenever I get Wovenfuse 2 from Serial Bag Maker, I always buy hers in black. I have no idea. I have no idea why. Maybe something different because everything's so stark white. But with Annie Soft and Stable, a lot of bags call for it, especially if you sew Sweetness. And I usually use by Annie because even when you put your fingers on it, you can feel it compress and bounce right back. It's a really different formula than other ones. For people that are across the pond, a good one is, it's called Stylex. It's from Vaseline. It's the same people that make, oh my God, Decovil Light and Deckable Heavy. And they have a glue one, and they also have a sewing one. I have used both, and I love this stuff. It is visibly thicker, a little thicker than, it's like 1/16 of an inch thicker than Anti-Soft and Stable. It does bounce back. It's just thicker. So if you want a bag that looks more full and a little bit more structure, the Visine one is a very good option. You can get this from a couple different bag shops. I know you can get it from Serial Bag Maker, Mercy, and sometimes you can get like really cool ones on Etsy. Let me see. Oh, this foam is called Sewfab foam. It's from RK Designs. The weird thing about this foam is that you only can get it from like bigger chains like Sewing Machine Plus or like the bigger stores that sell sewing machines and sewing chairs. This foam is massively thick. Let me get it down here. It is so thick. And at first, when I was sewing with it, I'm like, yeah, my machine's not going to like it. It compresses where you sew really well, but gives your bag this really beautiful stabilization. Now, I don't know if they sell this by the yard. By the yard or whatever. I got this, it was 15 inches by 30. The padding in this is really nice. I can't explain it. It's a light stability, but it bounces back. I can't give you the long-term effect. I've only had it for 2 weeks, but I think this might be something that I start investing in because it is very gorgeous. Another foam is if you go to your local, I'm just knocking down everything. If you go to hold on. If you go to your local car shop that does like detailing and putting in like seats and stuff, they have foam. This foam, or your boat stores, this foam is what they use in like the roof of the cars, and it is it's dense, but it compresses when you sew as well. It is superiorly cheaper than any other foam. Like you can get 2 yards for like $9. It's just, you have to use a different needle or keep this out of your seam allowance, and you definitely can't get any iron on. You can't use the iron and heat on it. The other two are made, the other three that I showed you were made out of, it's like cotton or mesh netting. So if it gets hit by the iron, it doesn't melt. This is purely like plastic, and it will melt and kind of mess up your iron where you're like, no. It is cheaper. It's built for, you know, a long haul because they put it in the roofs of cars, and as you can see, it bounces back pretty easily. This is another option for if you want a foam. Okay, so we have fleece next. With fleece, there's high loft and there's low loft. High loft, think of it as a more luxurious pillow that's thicker. Again, with that being said, when you have a high loft, you're going to have most likely a bigger needle, a very sharp needle, because the pile on the fabric is higher than a low loft. A low loft has lower, it's lower and it's not as fluffy, but you can use both of them for anything. I usually like high loft because I want the bag, that area, have the padding and it feel supple. If you're like, hey, I don't like to use fleece, then another one is batting. You can get this at a lot of quilt stores because some people use fusible batting on their quilts. It is kind of sheer, as you can see, but it gives the suppleness of a fusible fleece. I like getting batting sometimes. You get a little, it's padded without having to it's padded without having all that extra thickness, so when you turn it, it's easier. It's really nice for a nice supple bag. It gives you a very semi-soft structure. But fusible batting, Basel has some, and I like Basels. It's, I don't know, when I used it on a bag recently, I really liked it. It was, I'm trying to think of the bag. The bag flap called for, the bag flap called for fusible. It called for fusible in the flap, and the rest of the bag had foam. I'm trying to think, what bag did I do that had it? I've been making a lot of bags lately, so I will get to it. Also, this is a staple, Fusible Thermolam Plus. This has been a staple in almost, if you look at any of your swoon patterns, it always asks for it. This is super dense. At first, I was like, I'm not a fan, but I start playing around again with it before this video. I'm kind of in love with it. First of all, you can get it at Joann's and use one of your 50% coupons. It's not very expensive, and it comes in, I want to say 1 yard, and it's like 60. Okay, let's see. It'll be 48 inches wide, so 48 by 36. I've been using this a lot lately on some of the older bags, because Alicia in her swoon patterns has this and almost her like bread and butter for all the foundations for the first patterns. And at first I didn't like it. It is dense though, but it does give you structure and it feels supple. It will definitely give you more structure than fleece or batting, but I really am feeling this, and I made a couple bags with it, and I'm going to knotted threads. I used it on knotted threads pattern, the Gia pattern. I've been using it on that one because, one, it saves cost of materials. Like when you're making a bag, you have to break down, you know, what materials you use, what hardware you use, how much your time is. This is significantly cheaper than Deckable Light or Bouncy Firm, and it's more obtainable to get because I can just drive to my Joann's, get a few yards, get the 50% off, and call it a day. Or you can get 50% off of a bolt. It's really weird. I didn't like this at all, and I didn't understand what the hype was. And now that no one uses it, I like it. That's how it works. Everyone's like, no, the fusible fleece. But that is pretty much my favorite. This one is pretty much my favorite. Now, all these different interfaces that I'm showing you, I want you to know you don't need to go out and purchase. These are something that I've purchased. I have a love for interfacing because I really do think it makes the bag at the end of the day, but it doesn't need to break you because of the cost. There are so many other substitutes for something else. Like if you really like Deckable Light, I really suggest you to try Casting Handcrafted Sewfuse Plus, or Emmeline's Bag EB Plus, or Cereal Bags Makers Wovenfuse Ultra. It has the same structure as Deckable Light with the reduced cost. Like you're paying close to like almost $20, like I think it's like $20 a yard for Deckable Light, or it's like 15 or 17, and all of theirs are like $7 or $5 or $6, and that is a huge saving within itself. And then you're getting a lot like 36 by 36 piece, which can go a long way. With foam, there's like our foam, Pellon, Anti-Soft and Stable, Stylex. There's so many different foams out there. So I tell people to research and see which one suits your needs. And just the first thing you got to figure out is what kind of bag are you doing? Is it super structure? Is it soft? Or is it going to be like you want a happy medium, whether it's for you, your family, or you're selling it? Then you have fleeces where you can double down and use fusible batting, or you can use, I've used quilting like foam, quilting batting. I've used that on when I'm quilting on like a Lola or whatever. Yes, it's not fusible, but I just pop a few pins in there and I start using it. You can use pretty much anything to make the desired bag you want. My next video on this, I'm planning on showing you unconventional materials that you can use for your bags. Like if Monica's watching this, she's probably gonna laugh. I use buckram a lot, and weirdly, I'm starting to see it in some of the bag patterns. I'm like, they're getting hip to the game. That the hat making supplies are amazing in the bag making world. Same with corset. If you go to a corset, they have different stabilizers, and they're amazing in bags. So I want to show you some unconventional materials in the next one that are not that expensive and you could probably get locally, and you'll be surprised at how your bag looks. So if you're going to get anything from this, I would tell you definitely figure out what structure you want. See what the pattern calls for. If you made the bag before and you want to change up the structure of it, try something new. Refer to this video. You'd be like, hey, that anise is soft and stable. I like the way that bounced back. I'm going to try that. Or I want to try Sewfuse Plus. Or I want to try Thermolam because it was originally in almost everybody's pattern. That was like the main, it was like the Decovil light for its time. So maybe try that again because it's significantly cheaper than Decovil. I'm kind, like I'm telling you, I'm kind of feeling it a lot. So what I want to do is I'm going to put every place that I got this at. If I say get your car stuff locally, I would trust that, or you could try eBay or Amazon, but try to go to some places local because you'll be surprised. Like you can go to a sofa store and sometimes they have big pieces of upholstery that they're not using and they will give it to you for free. Or like you thinking outside of the box can save you a lot of time and money. So if you have any comments, questions, or you want more information about something, just leave a comment. If you could like, subscribe, and share if you think this is worthy, it's totally helping your girl out. And until the next time I see you, I hope you have a fabulous day. Bye.